Hi there, Serial Trader here. I want to look at AMD and point out a nice trade setting up here. And I think this will coincide nicely with an overall market rally, which we're certainly approaching here quite soon, I think. And you can certainly just play the overall market to participate in the inevitable bounce that we're going to have. But I also like to look for individual names that are set up to perhaps have a more substantial move up, or just something that has a more clear setup. And AMD certainly fits the bill, I think, on those parameters. So looking at the weekly chart here on AMD, now we're just basing this uptrend here off the low at 904, which was put in early April 2018. And from that low, it certainly looks like a fairly nice 1 up, 2 down, 3 up. Looks like wave 4 down, either complete or nearly so, and then possibly setting up for another wave up in wave 5. And just some things to point out here on the weekly chart. So after this initial 1 up, we did a nice deep retracement in between the 618 and 786 for a wave 2. Wave 2s typically are deeper retracements. So that certainly fits the bill, being between the 618 and 786 for a nice deep retracement. We went up in wave 3. Now wave 3s are usually the strongest waves in an uptrend or in a downtrend, and they typically reach a 1.618 relationship to the wave 1 preceding them, and that's just a guideline. You can certainly fall short of the 1618 or exceed the 1618, but a common wave 3 will do a 1618 relationship to the wave 1 preceding it. So we actually went just a little bit above that. 1618 would have been 56.64. We went as high as 59.27, but pretty close to that 1618 relationship. And now we've pulled back in what it looks like a wave 4. And let me just delete the 1618 there. And wave 4s typically aren't as deep as wave 2s. And the most common wave 4 relationships are between a 38.2% and a 50% retracement. Well, we've we've stabbed just slightly past that 50% retracement, and now it looks like we're reversing off of that area. And importantly, we didn't overlap with the wave 1 extreme. That's one of the rules in an impulse wave, that wave 4 cannot enter the price territory of wave 1, or not end in the price territory of wave 1, and that level would be 34.14, and we've only gone as low as 36.75. So all those things are still intact for a nice longer term developing impulse wave. So I just wanted to point all that out. And then just to do a kind of a rough target here, we'll do a reverse fib of wave 4, and we'll project the 1.382 and 2.0 relationships, or multiples of that, just for some upward targets once we get going back to the upside. And that's showing that wave 5 could get to maybe 67, almost 70, or maybe if it gets really exceptional to the upside, maybe we're looking around more like 80. And certainly, well, if we're currently close to 40, 80 is a double. If we get even close to 70, that's still a substantial percentage return just if you're playing the stock. So I just thought I'd point all that out there. Okay, so that's really what I wanted to show on the weekly chart. Now, if we go in on the hourly chart here, so now I'm just examining this wave 4 pullback we've had from the highs there that we put in on February 19th. So from the highs, this looks like a very nice 3-wave decline, and I like a lot of characteristics about it. So nicely contained within this parallel trend channel. What else here? So what I love to see in a zigzag, nice little guideline, is that wave A should be sharper in slope than wave C. Whereas in an impulse wave, say if this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, wave 3 is typically sharper in slope than wave 1. But in this case, we have wave A that's sharp, and then you can see that wave C is far shallower in slope than wave A, right? And let me just kind of get them both side by side for comparison purposes. So here's the slope of wave A, and then here's the slope of wave C, much shallower, right? So that's a good characteristic of a nice ABC down, a corrective three-wave decline that once complete implies that it'll be more than fully retraced to the upside. So there's all that. Now we have a nice subdivisions here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down for A, B, C up for B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down for C, and that's possibly the low in place for that larger wave 4. And now off the bottom, looks like we're starting potentially something impulsive, maybe for the initial wave 1 up of that larger 5. But again, we're not quite there yet as far as the development goes. And this brings me to the 15-minute price chart, so we can get in real close here and look at the shorter term pattern. And even that's looking quite nice. So off the bottom there from 36.76, I can get a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up for either a 1 or A. Now I'm putting or A. I do think it's just a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse wave starting to develop here in the shorter time frame. But I want to kind of be the devil's advocate in case we are just going to do an ABC up and then go down and make new lows. I still want to show that that even if that's the case, this still presents a trading opportunity, even if it doesn't develop into that longer term uptrend, which actually looks fairly likely to reassert itself. So 5 up for either 1 or A. Looks like we got a nice ABC down for either 2 or a B. And you can see even on this 15-minute price chart, this ABC down nicely contained within a parallel trend channel. So far we've done just about a perfect 50% retracement of this initial move up. And also the AC equality relationship here for B or 2 comes in at 39.88. So we're basically right around that area. Went slightly below it there, but again, in a nice kind of fib pocket and also AC relationship pocket. So you can see if we do go a little lower here, say we do a AC relationship of 1.382, that'll get us down closer to that 618 relationship. So around 38, high 38s or around 39. So I'd certainly be a buyer in this area. And of course your stop initially would go just below the low here at 36.76. But obviously once we start to get some progress to the upside, get a reaction here, you'd want to move your stop up tighter, but initially that's where you would put your stop. Okay, so that's the 15-minute price chart. Now, let's just say that, or let's just pretend that we do have our wave 2 or B pivot in place. So basis that, if we do a equality relationship, just equality between this initial move up and this retracement down, that would bring us to around 45.27. So from just under 40 to 45, that's a nice move. And then if we go to something more impulsive, so let's just say right now, if it's 3 or C, so let's put it this way, if it's just an ABC up, you'd be looking for that equality level, so a little over 45. And if it's not just an ABC, so let's move that out of the way, but if we get a wave 3 up, wave 4 down, wave 5 up of a larger impulse move, so that 1618 would come in at 48.81, so getting closer to 50 bucks, currently around under $40. So that becomes an even more attractive setup. But even in the most conservative ABC scenario, you're still looking at a nice pop up there with a reasonably tight stop as it currently stands. So I did want to bring all that up on this shorter term time frame. So given the market volatility, you actually start to see nice clear patterns even on these shorter term time frames, and certainly something to take advantage of in these volatile conditions when you get a clear setup. So I'm liking this. Of all the different individual names I'm looking at, I don't think I can find right now a better setup that pops out more to me right now than doing a long attempt on AMD. And again, that's within the context that the market is very close to some sort of low being put in and likely a significant rally, even if it is just a bear market rally taking place. I think AMD will participate in that in a major way based off its own chart and its own patterns, as well as obviously it's going to have some correlation when the actual market goes up too, right? Okay, so that's what I want to go through here on the wave charts. Now, if we go to the Thinkorswim candlestick chart, there's more things to like here about AMD. So if I just zoom out, AMD clearly, despite the market, coming down very hard, and a lot of individual stocks really have crashed. They've broken their major uptrends. They've lost all their major moving averages. Some of them are down enormous percentage declines. 50% plus in some cases. Truly crashed some stocks. AMD is not one of those stocks. So AMD is still very much in a longer term uptrend. And you can see previously here, let me just get a little time back here. You can see previously, once we came off that major low in 2018, April 2018, we've been in a nice uptrend. We had that golden cross, 50-day simple moving average crossed above the 200-day, and that has remained intact since then. And you can see we pulled back to approximately the 200-day moving average back here and here. That proved to be a nice buying opportunity. We also hit the 200-day moving average more recently back here. Didn't quite hit it, but again, got into the area. That proved to be a very nice buying opportunity. And now currently, we're reacting right around that 200-day moving average once again. So I like the technical setup. So the Elliott wave looks good. The moving averages still look oriented nicely in a bullish manner. We're very, very due here for a significant market bounce anytime now, even if it does go a little bit lower first. So yeah, just overall looking real good. And again, even on this candlestick chart, you can see just a nice clean 3-wave corrective decline. So if you never knew what was going on in the overall market, and all you were doing was looking at a chart of AMD here, you'd say, oh, that's a nice pullback. Looks like another buying opportunity within a longer term uptrending stock. And I think it is. And certainly when the market has its relief rally, I think that'll just add some bullish fuel to AMD resuming its larger uptrend. Okay. And as far as actual candlestick signals here, I mean, we just have a bunch of indecisive candles, a couple dojis there, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Initially, we were starting to get above the T line, but then we got pulled down there towards the close. But again, really liking this setup here. Now, even on the weekly chart on AMD, weekly uptrend still very much intact. So we haven't even quite touched the 50-week simple moving average, which proved to be a nice, now that lines up pretty closely with the 200-day simple moving average. Now keep in mind this is the weekly, so it's 50-week. That lines up quite well with where we reacted in this previous pullback. So yeah, just looking real nice. Now what else to discuss? Oh, if you like to have a little bit of a story behind your trade, so I mean all I'm really concerned with is the charts, but it's still good to know if there's some sort of bullish, I don't know if you want to call it fundamentals or a bullish sentiment behind a particular stock. Well, in this case, I think there is. So AMD's chips, and their semiconductor products, their CPUs, their GPUs, those are very popular right now. And they're also very much in demand, apparently. There's lots of people working from home that perhaps didn't before or didn't to the same extent. And there's a lot of people buying new hardware for that reason or upgrading their existing computers, with AMD products. So that's certainly kind of a bullish tailwind, if you will, given the coronavirus situation and this kind of stay-at-home or work-from-home mentality. Also, video games obviously benefit a lot when people are staying at home and they're bored, so they're going to play video games and they're going to buy AMD, products for their gaming platforms, their gaming machines. And what else? Oh yeah, so and also cryptocurrencies. So a lot of AMD GPUs are used to mine cryptocurrencies. Now maybe that's fallen by the wayside from what it used to be, but if you get a big rally in crypto, which is certainly possible, that's another tailwind for more purchasing of AMD GPUs. So I've kind of laid my case out here as to why you want to go long AMD, or why I want to go long AMD. So to discuss some potential trade ideas, obviously if you're just going to play stock, that's simple enough. You go long here anywhere near current levels, put your stop below the most recent low there at 36. Here we are on this platform, we got 36.75. So you'd put your stop just below that, and then your eventual target would be taking out the old highs close to 60 bucks. If you want to play it, say with call options, I don't know how short term you want to go. I think April's would be fine. It's 27 days till expiration. I mean, this decline only took, let's say around a month or so. Let's see, the decline started on the 19th of February. It may have bottomed on the 18th of March, so roughly a month. So if you give yourself another month to, get going in a wave up, that's probably enough time, but you could always go further out. You could go buy some Mays, closer to 2 months. I think April's would be sufficient for a nice in and out kind of trade. And I'd be looking, let's see here, probably the $36 or the $37 strike price, a little bit in the money. Delta a little over 0.6, maybe closer to 0.7. And you could make, a double or triple on that. So let's see here. Say we buy the, now these prices can change on Monday because this isn't a live quote, because obviously the markets are closed. So this is just kind of a rough estimate based on Friday's prices. But let's say you get in at $6.50 on the $36 calls. And let's say we go up even just partially here and retrace a partial move here in the next 30 days. So say we get up to 50. Well, 50 minus 36, that would be your value of the option, assuming there's no premium whatsoever. It's just pure intrinsic value. If you got up to 50 and you got in on 36 calls, that'd be $14 currently from $6.50. So that's more than a double. So that'd be a nice percentage return. Nice defined risk. Obviously with the long option, you're not using a stop loss per se, but you're just using position size to manage your total position risk. So that'd be a nice call to look at. 36 strike, 37 strike, around there. So however you want to play it, I think AMD is looking extremely attractive. I'm personally looking to get in early next week, possibly Monday, and just kind of take it from there. All right. I think that's all I really wanted to go through on AMD. Certainly any questions or comments, just put it in the comment section there. And I'll do an overall market update either later today or tomorrow, certainly before we open up again on Monday there. All right. Serial Trader signing off.